Good morning, everyone. Let me please introduce you to Rodrigo and Terry, two young adults who received a pediatric transplantation. Rodrigo, Terry, we would like to know a little bit more about you. If you could tell us about your experience with the transplantation, when you received it, how old are you now? Um what do you do for a living, if you're studying, if you're working. So if you would please tell us about yourselves.
Okay, there you go. First,
I'm begin.
let's go.
Okay, right. So yeah, my name is Terry Loftis. So I'm 25 years old, and I'm born with genetic sick, we called cytopathy mitochondrial. So it's focused with mitochondrial, sorry, and so it's very very rare genetic sick. And when I was 14 years old, I had liver cancer. And so I did one operation, since this operation failed because my cancer back a bit faster. So they needed to do transplantations, and so I received my transplantations in the 31st, sorry, of December. So well, to begin a new year in 2010. And so now I will have my 11 years of my transplantations, and everything is good. I don't have problems, or my liver totally works very well. Except after my transplantations, I had a little bit problem. I could not walk anymore. I was totally paralyzed from my legs, and it was just a little problem. They crushed a bit my nerve, and but I did like some walks, and I succeeded to walk after 1 month. And so now what I am doing, I am a student in marketing in Clermont-Ferrand. It's a little town in the middle of France, and I think I said everything. So yeah, let's go, Rodrigo.
So hello everyone, I'm Rodrigo. I was born in Venezuela. I'm French and Venezuelan, but I was born in Venezuela. And then there in Caracas, I was found with two things. First, situs inversus. It means that all my organs in my body are inversed. And second one, related to the liver, biliary atresia, which led me to have Casal operation in Venezuela 2 months after my birth. I am 22 years old now. So it was in October 1999, which failed, that Casal. So it led to like 8 months later to come to Paris. As my father is French, it was easy for us to come to Paris to receive the liver transplant here near Paris in Le Kremlin-Bicêtre, a town where I stayed and where I still live today, near to the hospital where I was operating. Well, basically I was reborn, and now, yeah, I'm 22 years old. As Terry said, I'm also a marketing student, and everything is fine with my liver, and we're living a happy life after the transplant.
Thank you. Glad to hear it. Um, I would like to ask you, what would you tell a person who needs to receive a transplantation and has doubts, who is afraid? What would you tell them? How would you encourage them?
Mm, it's a good question. I think, like, first of all, we have to understand and know that every transplantation is totally different. Like, everyone has his own story, and so what I can say to these persons, this child or adult, it's like, yeah, maybe first of all you will have to face many things, like new pills to take, and you have to be adapt with your new liver, your new organ, and but step by step you will be better. you have to do sport because it's really important to be better faster, and everything is possible. You can travel, you will can to go to university if you want, or build a family. Everything is possible when you will be transplant, and nothing can stop you.
I will add to this that I understand how transplant can be a sort of fear, mystery too, because of the, I would say, the importance of the surgery that it means. But in our, as Terry said, every story is different, every transplant is different, and everyone is unique. But what we can like, but above all is that life is so precious. We were, Terry and me, we were close to like not live life because of our disease. And now that we had that transplant, we can see and we can like know how life is so beautiful and so important. And now that we have it, like we spend like each minute of our lives spending it like 100% happy, 100% going and advancing, living life happier and with a good health. But still, it has to deal with a lot of life aging and also rigorous takes of the pills, of the visits at hospital. But then if this is the cost of our lives, then we go ahead because it's so beautiful.
Rodrigo, during the time of your transplantation, you were 1, so
Yeah.
I assume you don't remember much about that time.
Totally.
But Terry, you received your transplantation at age 14.
Yeah.
So could you tell us how you received the news that you would be needing a transplantation? How you and your family took in the news?
Well, first of all, when I knew about my cancer, I think I was a bit immature because I didn't really understand what's going on because I was only 13 at that time. And so when my parents told me like you have a cancer and you will probably maybe dead, we will be dead if we do nothing. Well, I just answered to them like, yeah, we'll see, and I will do my best to find solutions. So like I said, we did the first operations, and it was really, really difficult for me because it was well, not big operations, but I had many problems during these operations. And when I did my second meeting with my doctor, when he told me, yeah, we have to transplant you and you will be better, I said, yeah, okay, let's go because I want to live. So I took it very in a good way. But what is important in this time, it's I was not alone. Like all my family was back of me, and I think it's really important to repeat it and remember about that. That if a child have to be transplanted, he have to be with his family back of him. Will help him to go with this story, to go with this adventure, because it will be a bit difficult, but when we are many people in this adventure, it will be easier. So I think this is what helped me during this whole time. And then like everything, like every doctors told me all the truth. They didn't hide things. They told me that maybe I will suffer, that I will have maybe problems, that I can die during the operations too. I know everything of that, and I think like when we want to be alive, like we just go and don't really think about it. But not yeah, I think the most important is to have our family and good doctors who tell the truth, and yeah.
Thank you, Terry. Rodrigo, you've been living with a transplantation for more than 20 years now.
Yeah.
Have there ever been some complications? Have you ever needed further surgery?
Not at all, and I hope never. But in my case, it has been like knowing about the transplant and what it is. It has been a sort of consciousness that came with older ages and like growing up, because I felt like I've grown up like a normal child. I felt that. I knew I had that transplant when I was 1 year old. And every time child, when I was in primary school, every time child like were asking to me, what's that scar on your body, what it is, like I was explaining them, yeah, it's a transplant. I had it when I was a little boy, but now everything is okay. And that's all for me. That was all. I had nothing more to explain. But after that, when I was like 12, 13, 14, also with our condition, and Terry can also agree with that, we have a sort of higher maturity than everyone else.
That's true.
So yeah, starting growing up at 12, 13, 14, when I like knew what it was, and I felt all that condition and what I have had in the past, I told myself, yeah, was something very, very heavy that I wasn't noticing really. I felt like I was a normal guy before that. Now I'm still feeling I'm a normal guy, but I take advantage of that situation to motivate, or at least take my testimony to other people, to all the families that are waiting, to tell them it works. It works. Look at us. It totally works. And I promise you will like live good life after that. And we have the proof of that.
This question is for both of you. Is there any part of your life that you would like to delete or change for something else?
For me, no. For me, no, and especially, and we agree. We talked about it with Terry way before. I think that the transplant had conditioned us to a certain personality that I think we could haven't that personality we have of being funny, being like always laughing at everything, always optimistic, always positive. I think even though the transplant is something, as I said, heavy and like is really, really, that can be really scary, we have taken that advantage of that operation to be that personality, to be what we are today, as I said, optimistic, positive, and we love our personality, and we love how we face world with that personality. So I will not change nothing.
Yeah, me too. Like I have really nothing to change. As you say, like everything is good. Like we are always positive, and when we are faced to small problems, for us it's just something new or something more to tell as a story or nothing more. And we don't say, oh no, it's really bad things. Oh no. We just go on and go with the flow and like just surf on the life and just continue to grow up, to improve ourselves, etc. And because we know like we succeed to beat the death, so nothing can I don't want to say that we are hero or nothing can stop us, but in our mind, like we will do every time our best to success what we want, or to succeed in our life. And I think like if we didn't receive this transplant, maybe we was not like this. Maybe could be like maybe coward or bad people, or we will not help other people like we do with children, etc. Going to see them in hospital, etc. So yeah, I think I will never change my life for what I for all my life. I will never change.
And to add what to what said Terry, we know how life being transplanted could be like restrictive, especially at our ages with alcohol, tobacco, everything else. But as we said, now that we had that transplant, we take life another way, um, especially to all those issues related to health. I mean, health for us is the most important thing.
Mhm.
Or for everyone is the most important thing, but especially for us. And we know that alcohol and tobacco is not synonym of good health. So we don't care about that restricted. I mean, it's the most important. It's the price of our lives to be that restrictive, and we love that because we love life.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you very much, both of you. I think that's all for the questions I had prepared, but if there is something you would like to add, something you would like to comment on, or something you feel like it's important you tell everyone, please go ahead.
Well, maybe I can tell about that I am writing a book right now,
Mhm.
and I think we don't have enough books about transplant people. When I was transplant, I had questions, and no one was here to really answer it except doctors. And I think like it's really important to have someone who really lived it. So this is why I try to write my book, and I will tell everything about transplant and the after transplant too, because I think it's really important for new children who will receive it, like to see how we can grow up with a transplant. And because we know, like with Rodrigo, that we know other transplant people who um, who don't believe in themselves because they had the transplant. And it's really weird that we have these two worlds, like transplant who we try to go on and to improve themselves extra, and other people, other transplant who are a bit desperate and don't want to continue the life, or they want to continue the life, but they will not be, what to say, a fighter. And I think maybe it's because they didn't add someone back of them to help them. Maybe not the family, maybe the family was not back of them to push them up. So yeah, maybe it's just the only things that I would to say.
Yeah, no, completely. I'm not writing the book now, but I'm looking at it and I'm reading it, and I agree it's really, really, really good. And it has been a good idea for Terry to do it, especially for. I mean, we are lucky, Terry and me. We were lucky that the transplant went fine, and that we carry on our lives with it fine, and that we like looked upon that transplant and saw all the good things that came after. But clearly we know that there are another people who like, so even though the transplant was fine, they suffer from it because they don't feel good with it, or they don't feel good with their skin. But the book is there for that, like to improve, to help them to improve themselves, and to see what we said during this interview, like how beautiful life it is, and how um, how it cares for us to live it well, and to spend it like 100% happy. And the book is there for that.
Exactly.
So yeah, most important thing, acceptance of ourselves with our condition.
Yeah, and never be afraid like about same about love. Like sometimes when I was younger, I was always afraid like how to find love, how to date a girl, and more. And that's true. Like we never talk about that in the hospital, etc. But the life teaches us how to do.
Yeah.
And same when I don't know how is it in Spain, but in France when we go to a beach and we are shirtless, every people look at us like not like we are a bit monster, but we have to grow up with
Yeah.
that. And I think it's important to say that every people will always look at us, and it's like that because we have something particular, and this is what's really is beautiful in Transform, because everybody is really let's say unique.
Totally. And yeah, that I know what that look is. We were growing up with that, but the most important thing for us, first of all, is that accept ourselves and accept that modification of our body, and then like to really be transparent about that with everyone, and you will see like with life and growing up that the people who care most about you and love you is those who forget about that, and to, like, forget in the sense like they know that you have that condition, but they look at you like a normal person, and not as a with that pity that you could feel and you could see on some people, like, oh, you had that, oh, for a few. But we said, every time we said with Terry, I don't feel like a different man or a disabled man. I mean, I feel like all I have a sort of sentence for me, like I live a almost normal life. But the only almost I put on that word is taking the pills and going to hospital somehow like every 6 months. But that's all. Apart that, I'm a normal guy like most of them, and I live a normal life. So there is no pity to have with us completely.
Rodrigo, Terry, thank you for being here. It was a pleasure to speak with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you.
Thank you, Miguel. Thank you to have us.